Welcome back to the My Pro Golfer channel. Today we're going over how to swing a golf club, and we've picked one of the most versatile clubs in the golf bag, the ever-changing but very exciting options for so many players, the hybrid. So why is a hybrid so helpful to so many people? Well, I'm going to go through a couple of factors here. So for this particular set makeup, and if you know my golf game and what's in the bag, I usually carry a lob wedge, a sand wedge, a gap wedge, pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then I play around with a second fairway wood or a hybrid. And the reason why I do that is because this has basically replaced my 3-iron. And so it's a 3 hybrid, it's got 19 degrees aloft, and it's got a graphite shaft, it's a little stiffer. But there's just so many things that you can do with it, and one thing that I want to share with you right now is actually not even how to swing it, but a chipping option. And so I just want to take you through it real quick. You can utilize this club because it'll go through the rough, and because it doesn't have that same hosel technique, it's a much bigger surface area, it'll brush through the grass pretty good. So if you need to hit a tricky little shot, especially the ones where the ball comes to rest like right on the rough line in between the fringe and the green, it's got a great mechanism. You just get the body and the toe up a little bit, you just brush it almost like a putt, and it'll literally pop that ball out there so that it just kind of jumps off and rolls along the ground, but never really gets trapped up against the turf. So it's a great option for you to have whenever you're playing golf on the golf course. One of the reasons I've taken that out and getting rid of my other 3-iron, the other part of it is that trajectories. I'm a pretty low ball hitter. I don't hit the ball very high in the air. I try to kind of trap everything, and I really like to work the ball. So those are one of the options. When I got to my 4-iron in this particular set, my trajectory is about here with a 4-iron, and so I wanted something that was further away to be able to land soft on long par 4s, or if I really kill one on a par 5 that's downwind and I've got somewhere in the 220, 230 range, that I can get up and spinny, and so that the ball will land softer on the greens. And so this hybrid's really helped me with that, and I've been able to utilize that in a lot of different shots on the golf course. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode. Here at My Pro Golfer, you know we like to keep things simple. And today, I've got a special gift for you to help you never miss a 5-foot putt again. Click the link below and download today. So let's take a look at just swinging this club. So there's a little bit more head weight, and it's a little longer club than my 4-iron. And so you want to feel the momentum. If you were to have a golf ball teed up like on a tee way out in front of you, you'd have to really take your time getting that club back to impact, and you have to do it kind of slow. Even though the club head is moving at a pretty high rate, the club itself is lagging behind, and it has to be swung slowly from the mechanism, your body, in the turn to get the club face to square up naturally. And so the longer the club, the more time you need to take to get yourself set, loaded, storing the energy and releasing the energy. So I just want to make sure that you know that before we start swinging the golf club. And then number 2, one of the things that you might be thinking right now is like, well, gosh, why doesn't he just have hybrids through the bag if he likes it so much better? There's a variance there. So the ball could be sprayed a little bit more because of the mass and be not as precise. Again, you're trying to hit it into a bucket. So I don't hit a 5 hybrid or a 7 hybrid because it sort of spins the ball up in the air and just kind of focuses on getting the ball up versus being really precise in the bag. But I'm not that precise with a 3-iron, and I don't hit the ball high enough. So I love the hybrid option for myself. But you may, if depending on your level, want to think about adding hybrids to the bag. But let's take you through how to hit them. So the cool part about a hybrid is now the ball position isn't as pivotal because there's so much weight at the bottom of the club. So I kind of play my hybrid sort of middle of the stance, and I'm making sure that I'm still compressing the ball. I never want to be lifting the ball off the ground. I always want to be working on impact. And so you feel the club, you're going to feel the handle, and you just want to be able to get the body rotating to be able to swing through the shot. And you can hear that sound. There's very different sound than if you watch the videos before, the 4 and the 5 iron. And I got that up in the air pretty good, a lot higher than my 4 iron. So I've picked the right club for me in this movement pattern. Now I'm going to do the same swing over again, and what I want you to focus on is how similar the swings are trying to look. I'm not trying to do anything special with a hybrid. We're 200 to 230 yards out at this stage for this club, for my swing speed and for my swing. My goal is just to get it kind of around the green. If it fades like I want it to onto the green, or draws like I want it to onto the green, I'm giving myself the best chance to land on the surface. But if I'm just around the green and can give myself an easy chip and I'm staying out of trouble, it's a great option. And if you're trying to lay up on par 5s, this is a great option as well. Just nice and relaxed. We're still feeling that compressionary feel where we want to make sure we don't lift the ball off the ground, we sweep it or compress it. But you'll notice that swing was very similar, just relaxed and rotational, feeling the golf club swing through impact, not any additional lift at all. So a hybrid is like an iron replacement. It's got a completely different function than a fairway wood. You'll notice when I pull one of these fairway woods out of here, and this is the 5 wood, you'll see how it's pretty significant length difference. So the length actually helps the ball jump up in the air, even though the degree of loft is an 18 here and it's a 19 here. There's obviously some component differences, and so this, with the weight back, is designed to get the ball up in the air. And so the hybrid's just a sort of an iron replacement, where when you are on the golf course, you're going to be thinking more of like an iron player here. So if you're somebody that really struggles with getting the ball up in the air, and you have availability to purchase high lofted fairway woods, which are a little bit more expensive typically than a hybrid, that's probably your best option. A 9 wood or a 7 wood gets that ball up in the air, spinning, and lands easy, especially off of thin lines, things like that. But the hybrid is also very good out of rough. And I know we're not hitting off a rough today, but you won't see as dramatic a change in a shot out of rough with a hybrid because of the girth of it. Whereas an iron, you see the hosel will turn over. This is a great tool to hit out of rough. And so let's talk a little bit about how to swing it out of rough. The only change that I would make for you is just choking down just a little bit in your hybrid to create slightly steeper angle, because you're now trying to kind of almost chop the ball out of the grass. We're going to get yourself set up to that grass. Play it just about a ball back in your stance. And again, you're not trying to chop down, but you're just trying to make the same smooth swing, allowing the ball position that's slightly back in your stance and the slightly grip down on the grip to naturally steepen out the shot, and it should squirt it out of that grass just a little bit easier. So getting myself set up, checking my systems here. I'm just going to play it slightly back in my stance, choke down slightly on the golf club, making sure that I'm still in that brush mentality. I'm still in that olive tree method, step 3 of impact, brushing for 12 inches. I never want to lift any shots in golf ever, even on the driver. So here we go. We're going to see this. Now, what can happen a lot of times, gang, when you're swinging from this position is the ball tends to squirt right a little bit. So until you get real good at it, make sure you aim just a little bit left. If you're trying to hit one on the green from here, aim at that left side, and you're just going to make that same relaxed but consistent swing, and that ball came out a little lower and faded out just a little bit right. And I didn't complete the golf swing completely, as you'll see in the video. So just notice that that's what's going to happen in the trajectory when you're swinging your hybrid.
Hey, just want to remind you to not forget on getting your free gift below on how to never miss a 5-foot putt.
All right, so just a quick change of angle here. We're going to go back and just recap the actual full swing of it. And remember, it's always going to be a brush motion, and we're never lifting the golf ball. I cannot say that enough. I see so often down this driving range here the impact positions of people coming up. So I want you to see what that looks like. As I'm swinging the golf club, I'm actually going to want my hip as I go back to go that way, not this way. And as this hip, when I go through, to replace it. I never want to get where I'm lifting the shot at all in any scenario. So let's get ourselves set up. You're going to watch those hips do that exact same thing. Remember, we're just swinging the golf club naturally through the shot, and here we go. All right, gang, thanks so much for following along on today's lesson on how to swing the golf club with the Hybrid. One of the most versatile clubs in the golf bag, and I would recommend everybody at least trying or having a Hybrid around in their bag as one of the options. Remember, it's more like an iron replacement, so when you're swinging it, the trajectory is going to come out pretty boring in the sense of through the air, not up and spinny unless you get a much higher lofted one. But notice that the girth of it keeps it almost like an iron, whereas a fairway wood's going to get the ball up in the air because they can move the weight further back in the club head. And remember, the longer the club, the more smooth through the shot you need to be. You can swing very hard from about here through, but we've got to get that club back and loaded with enough distance to be able to shallow out enough to be able to be sliding through impact, step 3 of the olive tree method, for 12 inches. So I hope this was helpful. Please comment below on anything and any issues that you may have with how to hit a Hybrid, how to swing the golf club. I want to be here to help you in any and every way I can. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you next Thursday at 6 o'clock.